America cannot tell the truth about herself. If the history of this country were written, you would have to say that this country is a nation of thieves. It began by stealing this country from the red man. If I said to you that Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492, you would say that's correct. But now here come this honky from Spain. There are already non-white people here, and they're not existing until he comes and discovers them. Ain't that something? All their heroes have been white. They make you bow down to George Washington as your hero. Did they ever tell you that that honky owned slaves? Did he ever tell you that? Yeah. Not only did he own slaves, he sold a black woman for a barrel of molasses, and he's supposed to be our hero. Our hero. Yeah. We have to begin to unbrainwash ourselves. The biggest lie that this country has told about us is that we are lazy. And here goes some of us running around. Yeah, you know how black people are lazy. We are lazy. White people are so lazy, they stole us to do her work for her because she was too lazy to do it. You run up and down this highway, run up and down the Delta, visit Southwest Mississippi. They talking about us being lazy. We are the ones who are out in the hot sun picking and chopping cotton for $2 a day while they sitting on the porch.
Here's the hard truth. The United States doesn't know what to do with black people because it refuses to admit the truth about itself. It's like a man who keeps tripping over the same step in his house, but instead of fixing the step, he blames his shoes. That's how America continues to treat racism. From the auction block to the school-to-prison pipeline, from redlining to mass incarceration, the pattern is clear. Systems with built-in racism. It's not a glitch, but it's the blueprint. And yet every time someone tries to speak the truth, the system covers its ears and cries, reverse racism, or that was a long time ago. Black people have been told for centuries, assimilate, but don't lose your culture. Speak up, but don't make us uncomfortable. Succeed, but don't succeed too much. It's the double bind of being black in America, constantly judged by rules you didn't write in a game that you were never meant to win. And when black people demand justice, not charity, not pity, not slogans, but real justice, America shrinks back in fear. Why? Because justice requires acknowledgement. It requires confessing that racism isn't just history, it's currency, it's capital, it's the invisible scaffolding that still holds everything up, from policing to housing to politics. The truth is, America doesn't know what to do with black people because doing right by black people would require undoing the myth of American innocence. It would require saying, yes, this country was built on stolen land by stolen labor, and yes, that harm is still happening, and yes, we owe a debt. But instead, we get deflection, we get color blindness, we get a sanitized version of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Juneteenth cookouts without reparations. America wants black excellence, but not black humanity. It wants rhythm and blues, style without struggle. So what do? We keep telling the truth loudly, clearly, unapologetically, because the first step in healing is naming the wound, and America is still in a place that it won't even admit that it's bleeding. Until it does, it will keep stumbling over the same step, tripping over black bodies, black voices, black dreams, blaming everything but itself. But the day is coming when the truth will no longer knock gently. It will kick down the door, and America will finally have to choose. Prepare the foundation or keep falling.
I pray the day comes fast, and if you're a Black American person watching this, let me know what your thoughts is. Do you also pray that the day actually comes fast? Because not only voices to be heard, but let America know the right thing. This is like uncovering another whole truth, part 2. I did part 1 yesterday. If you've not watched, please kindly go and watch. It tells a lot. Like I said, the main reason of us doing this video is to educate each other and to also educate our coming unborn children or generation. That's the main reason of doing this video. Second reason, for educational purpose, please. We are not doing this because we want to be causing confusion east, west, north, and south, right? But it is good that as we are watching, we are learning, and I'm also going to learn from you from the comment section. Let me know your opinion. That's why I always cry that, let me know your opinion. And I want to say thank you so much for 900 subscribers. You guys rocked. Yesterday we were at 700 and today we are at 900. I do not take you guys for granted. Thank you so much for always coming to support this channel. And I really do appreciate you. If you have not subscribed, please do well to subscribe. Anyways, I'll go ahead and roll out the remaining clips. Some of the clips I have for you guys. Credit belongs to the original creators of these videos. Every videos and stitches you see, right? Credit belongs to the original creator. Let's put that disclaimer there. Anyways, let's go right into this video. Uncover a lot that a lot of people are actually willing to hear, and I'll come back with commentaries.
More than 1 million Black Americans served in the U.S. military during World War II. They lived in segregation, both at home and in service. Black troops were mostly given support roles like loading ammunition, building roads, digging ditches. But the Black Panthers Battalion, the 761st, fought with distinction under General Patton. The Tuskegee Airmen protected American bombers with such precision that some squadrons saw a significant drop in casualties when escorted by these elite Black pilots. Yet, despite their stellar performance, Black soldiers were often denied recognition and promotions. Black soldiers faced racism from the American military and from the Nazis. If they were captured by the Germans, they could be executed right then and there. Of course, they were Nazis, so what did you expect? But they could also be sent to concentration camps where they were subjected to really cruel medical experiments and brutal labor and starvation. Black women contributed to the war effort stateside to replace the soldiers that were away at war. Some worked in factories as part of the Rosie the Riveter campaign, but they were often relegated to the lowest paying, dirtiest, most dangerous jobs, but they did it. The 6888 Central Postal Directory Battalion was the only all-black, all-female unit deployed overseas. They processed backlogged mail under grueling conditions like extreme temperatures and extreme pressure to process 17 million pieces of mail that had been sitting around for years, creating a significant morale problem with the soldiers who weren't hearing from home. These women worked around the clock in shifts and were expected to finish this job in 6 months. They finished it in 3. And the 6888 was not honored until about 8 decades later. White veterans returned home to parades and honors, while Black veterans returned to Jim Crow laws and racial terrorism. Some Black veterans were beaten for wearing their medals in public, the medals they earned and deserved. Others were lynched in their service uniforms. Check out an earlier video I posted about how they didn't get the GI Bill benefits owed to them, but that white soldiers got. White politicians and newspapers said at the time that Black veterans were a threat to our way of life. They came home with work skills, and they'd had the experience of spending time in European cities where they were given some respect, and they wanted that at home, so people called Black veterans uppity. Others warned that military training had made them too confident, so they were harassed by police and off-duty soldiers. White friends, many of our Black neighbors know most of the stories that I tell here, but if you are curious and you want to help spread the word about what we were never taught, please share this video with one other white person. One share shows you care about setting the record straight.
Imagine fighting for a country that doesn't see you as human. Imagine risking your life for a nation that enslaves your people, and still being the reason that that nation survives. That's exactly what happened in 1815. When Black soldiers saved America in the Battle of New Orleans. But of course, history barely mentions them. So it's 1815, and the U.S. is at war with Britain. Again, the War of 1812 is raging, and New Orleans is the next target. If the British take the city, the U.S. economy crumbles. Trade routes collapse, and America might not even exist as we know it today. Andrew Jackson, the U.S. general in charge, he knew he was outnumbered and outgunned. He was desperate. So he did something shocking for the time. He turned to Black soldiers, entered the battalion of free men of color, a group of Black soldiers, many of them formerly enslaved, who stepped up to defend a country that had never defended them. Some were Creole, some were Haitian revolutionaries who had already defeated the French in Haiti, and some were Black Americans looking for any chance at freedom. And when the battle started, they went to war like nobody else. While other troops panicked under British fire, the Black battalions stood their ground, holding key positions and stopping the British advance. Their experience, discipline, and raw courage turned the tide of the battle. And here's the kicker. The U.S. crushed the British. New Orleans was saved, and America's future was secure. And what did these Black soldiers get in return? Betrayal. After the war, instead of honoring their bravery, white lawmakers stripped them of their rights. Many of them lost their land, their status, and any promise of freedom. Some were even forced back into slavery. Andrew Jackson, the man they fought for, he went on to become president. And yeah, he made sure that black people stayed at the bottom of the system. So let's be clear. Black people didn't just build America. They saved it over and over again. We fought wars for a country that never fought for us. And yet, history books barely mention our names. But the truth? The Battle of New Orleans wasn't won because of Andrew Jackson. It was won because of the black men who risked everything, even when they had nothing to gain.
Not seen any strong people. I've seen the blacks as strong people, because after watching some of these clips in this video, you find out that these blacks, they've been through a lot. Like, they've been, like, sometimes I ask myself, how do these people manage to survive? How are these people even coping? How are these people even lasting strong? Because to be honest, we still have people that are actually surviving very well that are blacks, right? And I just want to say I'm so proud of you guys. And I always said, you see these white people that are actually coming out to say the facts, to say the truth, kudos to them. Kudos to them. Like, they are the sweetest, because they knew the truth, but they are coming out to like uncover even what a lot of us never knew. So starting from watching their videos, we begin to see that, okay, this is how this thing is, and we begin to like saying, okay, what do we now do? You understand? So it baffles me why a lot of people will be like, oh, Americans, black Americans do not deserve reparation. They do not deserve reparation. You can hear from the videos, you can hear that if there is anybody that deserves reparation, it should be blacks. Yeah, it should be. So when I see white, some white, I will not say all white, right? Some white, and they are saying, why are we even talking about reparation? Why do they even deserve reparation? Oh, they are not the settlers, they are the immigrants, and so on and so forth. Be it immigrants, be it settlers, the fact remains that these people have been through a lot. I don't want to even talk about settlers as a whole. Black Americans have been through a lot, and it's only few that will actually recognize the strength, the effort these people have put into this picture. Anyways, I'll go ahead and run out the remaining, some of the clips I have for you guys, because I know I still have a lot of videos that you guys are going to catch up, and I'll come back with commentaries.
What if I told you the first U.S. paramedics were black and we were never supposed to know? I'm Dr. Michael H. Ford, and this is a story you need to hear. In 1967, a new ambulance service launched in Pittsburgh's Hill District, a black neighborhood overlooked by police-led emergency services. It was called Freedom House, and it changed everything. But before Freedom House, ambulance crews were often funeral home drivers or police with no medical training. If you were injured, they'd load you up and drive. No CPR, no oxygen, no care along the way. But Freedom House trained its staff, all black men, in anatomy, CPR, IV care, and even cardiac treatment. These were men the media called unemployable, but they became pioneers of emergency medicine. In their very first year, Freedom House responded to nearly 6,000 calls and saved more than 200 lives. Their response time less than 10 minutes in communities where help often came too late or not at all. But despite their success, the city refused to let them expand. Payments were delayed, budgets were cut, and by 1975, the mayor replaced them with an all-white city-run service. Most of the original paramedics were pushed out, they were demoted or dismissed. But here's the truth. Nearly every ambulance system in the U.S. today, including the way ambulances are built and how paramedics are trained, traces back to Freedom House. They didn't just save lives. They proved what was possible when care is built with purpose, respect, and equity. If we want to fix emergency care today, we need to remember the legacy they left behind and fight for the one they never got to finish. Healing starts.
Imagine holding a class with 14-year-olds and you are discussing the contributions of black enslaved individuals, their contributions that they had to build the American economy or build the nation to what it is today. And those same 14-year-olds asking the central questions, well, if black people contribute so much to society and we recognize their contributions and inventions and everything else, why are they treated so unfairly? Why are folks still fighting for the same equal rights and opportunities as everyone else? Okay. Then a student says, can we rewrite the Emancipation Proclamation? Who's your teacher? Who's your teacher? We sure can. We're going to work together. We're going to build a lesson plan, about 3 lessons, and then we're going to rewrite it. You are going to rewrite the Emancipation Proclamation. Yes, sir. Yes, I love that type of teacher. But you know what's so funny? People say, how are you able to get away with teaching lessons like that? I said, well, if people don't like it, they could report me to the administration. But guess what? I'm the superintendent. I teach what I want, do what I want, when I want.
Built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? But through generations of blood, sweat, and tears, and you deserve a government that defends your interests, protects your families, and cares for our own citizens first. My administration is fighting with everyone and all our heart to reverse the pain inflicted by Democrat leaders and to deliver hope and opportunity and prosperity for all Americans, but for African American communities all throughout our land.
I want to take a moment to say thank you to Donald Trump, not out of praise, but out of truth. Because while you rip through every part of this government, tearing down justice, equality, and fairness under the fake excuse of fighting DEI fraud, what you're really doing is confirming what black folks have been saying for generations. America was built on racism, fueled by fear and sustained by white supremacy. You've exposed it all. The masks are off. The polite racism, the fake allyship, the colorblind lies, it's all gone. Now we see it raw and unfiltered. You're not just targeting policy, you're targeting people. Black people, brown people, marginalized communities. In the wild part, we make up the smallest portion of this country, yet somehow we are the biggest threat to the lie that white supremacy built. That should tell you everything. You're afraid not of violence, not of replacement, but of the power we hold even when we have nothing. You see the way our culture, our brilliance, our resilience, our excellence continues to shape this country, even when it tries to erase us. Donald Trump is just the loudest version of a system that's always been in place. He is the living, breathing proof that this country was never designed with us in mind. And yet, we continue to define it. So thank you, Donald, for exposing what so many tried to deny, for showing the world that the fear of black greatness is real, for proving that racism isn't in our imagination, it's in the fabric of this nation. And to my people, we don't have to fight to prove our worth. He's doing that for us. All we have to do is stand firm, stay awake, and know that the truth is finally louder than the lie. We are not broken. We are not the problem. We are the evidence of the power.
The prayer I always pray is, may I never walk when it's time for me to eat. I've been denied of that food. May I never suffer for another person just to sit and enjoy. Black Americans have been tagged lazy, not hardworking. They don't want to do anything. They just want to sleep and eat. They just want to relax. There's some of the video I stumbled upon where some men were like, oh, why they don't want to marry Black American women? They are lazy, they are this, they are that. And this is what they've been tagging blacks right from time. But if you check in no time, these same people that attack blacks are still people that are taking care of the home, people that are doing inventions, people that are doing a whole lot for American to be where American is right now. There was a video I did and I said, where will American be today without blacks American? And a lot was uncovered. If you've not seen that video, guys, check out that video. A lot was uncovered. Like, I'm not saying that the whites are not doing their thing, right? The whites are also doing their job. They are trying. Everybody's trying on his own part. But why is this Black American owns, why are the blacks owned really ignored? Why are they really ignored? Why are they pushed out when they are supposed to, like, said, okay, this is the time I'm supposed to settle and eat? American is supposed to join force together with Blacks American. By now, it will have been a big, like, where American is right now, it will have been more than where it is right now. If there was a joint task force between the blacks and the whites, not minding our skin color, not minding our difference, just coming together to hold each other together and said, let's do this as a country. A lot. But you see this racial profile? It's cropping in, day out. And every single day on the internet, we keep seeing new things that we need to talk about. Anyways, let me go ahead and roll out the last clips I have for you guys. Then I'll be back with commentaries. Please let me know what you think about all of this video in the comment section.
I've been contemplating on if I should speak on this or not, but I'm just go for it. I feel like Black Americans suffer the most and they get the most harm by trying to categorize all Black people as just Black people. And Black Americans suffer the most because if you're African, you have a place to call your home. If you're Caribbean, you have a place to call your home. And when I say call your home, I mean like you have your own continent, you have your own place that no one could ever take from you. That's not the same thing for Black Americans. Y'all already know how to be like just trying to not even prove to people, but prove to people like this is our land. Like, you know, y'all already know that whole argument that be going on. And with that already being an argument, so everybody here is already taking our stuff. Everybody here already thinks, oh, this is not Black American. This is not Black people. This is just mainstream. This is just TikTok culture. This is just pop. This is just whatever it is. So I feel like the problem to that is to say this is Black American, this is Caribbean, and this is African culture. I feel like we can't keep doing this. Oh, we're all Black people. We're all Black people. I love all Black people. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say I want us to be divided or separate. I'm just saying there's a whole set of problems that come with being Black American that other Black people don't have to face. And I feel like one of the main reasons why is because we keep trying to categorize everything as Black people. And it's like, no, there is specific things for just specific Black people. But yeah, feel free to comment down if you feel like I'm off, if you want to add something, if you feel like I'm lacking something or whatever, give me insight. Comment down below. At the end of the day, this is my opinion and this is what I feel like is the problem and what I feel like would solve the problem. But yeah, I think we just need to figure out a way to keep identifying stuff as Black Americans so we don't have to worry about people trying to take our stuff and retwist it and reclaim it. And yeah, just give respect and give props to the rightful owner. And one last thing too, another reason why this is very near and dear to my heart too is because there's a lot of stuff that Black Americans don't get credit for, and people don't even know the reason why that's in place or the reason why we even have certain things to this day is because of Black Americans. A lot of the stuff that we still use function little stuff like a freaking countertop at a store. A Black American thought of that idea and put that together. Like what's it called, a bed frame, like the poles and stuff, like the canopy looking thing. A Black American created that. Water guns, a Black American created that. It's just like little stuff that goes over a lot of people's heads that don't even know that a Black American invented that. So yeah, put some respect on our name for real, and start giving us our props. Start identifying what is what and who is who and who did what.
I need someone to explain to me what's so hard about understanding that Black Americans have over 400 years of history and culture. What is so difficult in conceptualizing that? We was literally the backbone of and built a new country by force. Like, America would not be what it was and what it is today without Black Americans. 400 years of history, of culture, of families, of generations. What makes you think we're lost at all and don't have any connection to any roots? Right? And like, let's not talk about like lineages to Africa for a second, because we could talk about that all day long. We could never know where our people were from in Africa, and we would still have roots. I don't know why that's so difficult to conceptualize. And actually, you know what? There's always so much talk about Black Americans needing to be proud and have pride in our origins in Africa. And I agree. I agree with y'all. I've been to the continent, one country, Senegal, and I felt so much pride and connection there. And I agree so much. I have so much connection that the rest of y'all should have pride in Black Americans too. Where's your pride in Black Americans as not being Black Americans? Our ancestors was your ancestors' cousins. They were family, baby, and they brought and cultivated an entire culture while surviving bondage, a thriving culture, mind you. A culture that we love, talking about having a lot of origins in Africa. Okay, so if we're so connected, right? Have pride in the culture that we built here. Have pride in the culture that literally is the backbone of an entire country. Not just America, but the entire Western Hemisphere due to forced labor. They still brought culture that thrived in North America, and the Caribbean, and Latin America, and South America. Have pride in us the same way that we should have pride in our origins elsewhere, okay? We're not lost. We have roots. We have culture. We have history.
What's wrong with y'all? In case that first list wasn't enough. Black people also invented GPS, technically navigation, ambulances, Wi-Fi, the baby buggy, home security systems, ranch dressing, super soakers, 3D movies, over 300 uses for the peanut. Let that sink in. 300 inventions on a peanut. Flour, paste, insulation, wallboard, wood stains, soap, shaving cream, lotion, blood transfusions, elevator doors, maxi pads, the modern air conditioner, Nerf guns, spatulas, your literal cell phone that you're watching this on. ironing boards, laser eye surgery, the folding chair, shout out to Alabama, country and rock music, I know that one stings, the modern toilet, the golf tee, keychains, cash register, shoe soles, VR gaming systems, adjustable wrenches, the rotary engine.
Anyways, I did some research as well, and this is what I actually came up with. I stand a chance to be corrected. I always say it in my video, I'm not perfect. Anywhere you feel like I didn't do well, please correct me in the comment section, and I will really appreciate that. So in my research, I did this particular research, and this is what I find out, right? Central to the idea of American dreams lies an assumption that we all have an equal opportunity to generate the kind of wealth that brings meaning to the word life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Boldly penned in the Declaration of Independence, the American dream portends that with hard work, a person can own a house, start a business, grow a nest egg for generations to draw upon. The belief, however, has been defined repeatedly by the United States government's own decree and denying wealth building opportunities to Black Americans. Today, the average white family has roughly 10 times the amount of wealth as an average Black family. White college graduates have over 7 times more than the Black college graduates, making the American dreams an equitable reality demands the same US. Governments that deny wealth to Blacks restore that differs wealth through reparation to their descendants in the form of individual cash payments in the amounts that will be close the Black-white racial wealth divide. Additionally, reparation should come in form of wealth building opportunities that address racial disparities in education, housing, and business ownership. In 1860s, over $3 billion was the value assigned to the physical bodies of enslaved Black Americans to be used as a free labor and production. This was more money than was invested in the factories and railways combined. In 1861, the value placed on cotton produced by enslaved Blacks was $250 million. Slavery enriched white slave owners and their descendants, and it fuels the country economy while suppressing wealth building for the enslaved. The United States have yet to compensate descendants of enslaved Black Americans for their labor. Nor has the federal government atoned for the lost equality for anti-Black housing, transportation, and business policy. Slavery, Jim Crow segregation, anti-Black practice like riddling and all discriminatory public policy in criminal justice and education have robbed Black Americans of the opportunities to build wealth, defined as assets minus debt, afforded to their white peers. Bootstrapping isn't going to erase racial wealth divide, as economics William Sandy, Darity, and Derek Hamilton point out in the 2018 report. What we get wrong about closing the wealth gap. Blacks cannot close the racial wealth gap by changing their individual behavior, that is, by assuming more personal responsibilities, or according to the profile, management insights associated with financial literacy. In fact, white high school dropouts have more wealth than Black college graduates. Moreover, the racial wealth gap did not result from a lack of labor. Rather, it came from lack of financial capital. Not only a racial wealth disparity review fallacy in the American dreams, the financial and social consequences are significant and wide-ranging. Wealth is positive, correlating with other better health educationals an economics outcome. Furthermore, assets from home, stock, bonds, and retirement savings provide a financial safety net for the inevitable shock of the economy and finance. This happens throughout a person's lifestyle. Recession impacts everyone, but wealth is distributed quite unevenly in the US. The awful inadequacy of a government-sponsored safety net was made apparently to wake the economic disaster like the 2018 housing crisis and natural ones like Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Those who can draw upon the equality in the home, savings, and security are able to recover faster an economic downturn than those without wealth. The lack of social safety net and the racial wealth divided are currently on display amidst the COVID-19 crisis. Disparity in the essence of healthcare alongside with the inequality in economics policy combine to make Black people more vulnerable to negative consequences than white individuals. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And let me know what you think in the comment section. With no further ado, like I say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye now. See you guys in my next one. Thank you.